He's live and direct. Welcome to Tuesday nights. Tuesday at 5:30 Pacific time. The weirdest ass time ever, 8:30 Eastern. It's because Randall has a new job. And so he can't get home until 8 or something his time. It's probably in the bathroom or something. Who knows? Oh, that's funny. So I just went on. I'm waiting for him. He's not in the green room. He's not sitting around. I hope he's around. I hope he shows up in a minute or two, just having a little bio break before he gets down. Because nobody's checking in to see like if what Larry thought of Heat. But I'll break it down real fast. It's Al Pacino, Bobby D. Every single person in this movie is famous. Val Kilmer. That's why we selected it for Randall finally watched whatever. Because honestly, because Gene Hackman died. But then Val Kilmer died, and like, we ought to do a Val Kilmer movie. And I think he's seen Tombstone. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, everybody's famous in it to the point that 14-year-old Natalie Portman plays his, wounded and proto-goth stepdaughter. Yeah. Amy Brammerman's in it. It's great. You guys have seen it. Uh-oh. Sorry, computer is running slow. Okay. Yeah, I'm that's good. That means he's home. But I'm not sure what his computer running slow does. Because doesn't everything run slow in Florida? This is what happens when you get me by myself. I mean, we've been going 2 minutes and 8 seconds. I'm surprised I haven't brought up Star Trek yet. So, Chris Sagasag, Hector Gonzalez, anybody listening at, I don't even know, Tuesday. It's a recycling day in San Francisco for our street. And a weird thing happened when I went to go take the recycling out at about 1. Nobody else on my side of the street had put out their bins. Shame. I hate being the first person to do stuff, but usually my next door neighbor puts his stuff out. He's I don't know. He's been about 80 years old since we moved in 25 years ago. Anyway, here's Randall. Thank God. Randall begins. Randall Armstrong. There he is.
Sorry, computer and Facebook we're not getting along.
Honestly, man, it's only 5 minutes into it. That's nothing for us.
Okay.
Nobody's here. It's just you and me. So, yeah. How's everything going?
Things are going good.
Yeah.
Things are going good. I'm just
you don't sound
taxes,
convincing.
other than that.
You don't sound convincing, man. How's everything? Like, no, it's good. It's like, I'd have believed you if it wasn't for that sigh of despair you just started with. Anyway,
because I'm trying to search my soul there to answer such a good question.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You gave that question a lot more consideration than it actually deserved in real life. But anyway,
I do that.
No, go ahead. Sorry, no, I'm.
I was gonna say I do that a lot. Like I'm at work, and God, man, like the new job I think is good, but like there's just so many people, and they'll come up and say, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'll be 50% of the time I'm like, I'm hanging in there. How are you doing?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they expect like the normal, like, I'm good. How are you? And it's like, I just catch them by surprise by being honest with them.
Yeah. That's the nothing thing. Like, how's everything going? Like in our family, if I really care, like how you're doing, I mean, honestly, I really do care how you're doing, but, because, I mean, as evidenced by that, you're on a podcast with me, right? Not everybody does that. So I don't mean that I didn't, but I just meant like super close people that I have to live with. I will say, how you holding up? Because that's really what it is. It's like life has got shit thrown at you all the time. And like, how are you holding up during the barrage of stuff you have to deal with? Like, I'm not judging you. You could have like, oh, you burned the cookies and that ruined your day, right? And then or somebody else has got like root canal and they had to deal with that. That's two different things, but it means it's just as drama to both people, So the only way to do that is just neutrally go, how you holding up under the onslaught?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, so the good news is I'm gonna ask you that now when I talk to you, because I told you what that means.
Yeah.
Me and the close people. It's like, so yeah, but then that gives you the chance to say something honest and nobody goes, whoa, man, I am asking you, like, how you holding up? And you're like, fucking everybody's shot, Sarge. I'm good. Start the Jeep. That's you say something funny like that. And man, you could have a broken leg, but as long as you're, dealing with your stuff in a funny way.
And what's interesting too is I just finished watching season 2 of Shrinking.
Oh yeah. Man, what a gut punch of a show, huh?
Oh yeah. And so
man, if he wasn't 3 hours long, we could just talk for season 2 Shrinking for an hour. That show's amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
How do you like it? Do you like it?
Oh, I love it. I really love it. I was sold first episode of the first season when you see Jason Segel and he's like riding on the bike, and some guy was giving him shit while he's riding on the bike, and he was just like, "Suck my dick," So he's just like, just
that show's amazing.
Yeah.
What I love most about that show is that stuff will happen and they present it in such a way that the audience is like, yeah, okay, I'm up to date, man, that sucks, or that's great, or whatever. And then like not even 10 minutes later, or in the case of one of the things I'm thinking about, the Jason's wife dying.
Yeah.
They make you think it's like the most horrific thing ever that's happened. And it was basically a fender bender, right? She just like hit her. You watched the whole thing, right? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, the look on your face, you were like, what is he talking about? I don't remember. Oh my God, he's spoiling something.
No.
It's just they make it seem like it's this fiery explosion of craziness, right?
Oh, right.
And it's just like, maybe she didn't have her seatbelt on and hit her head the wrong way.
Yeah.
And then the audience gets a quadruple gut punch because A, like the facts of what happened, like B, how everybody feels about it. And then as an audience member sitting on your couch eating Cheetos or whatever, you feel like an asshole because it very much is the worst possible thing that could happen to all those characters, right?
Yeah.
But it's not spectacular, right? So you think, you just kind of feel like, oh my God.
No, anyway. I mean, the writing's really good. The delivery. I haven't watched a show that has made me actually laugh out loud in a while, and just some of those lines and the deliveries, like they're just sharp, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like the full circle moment, when you see, and Harrison Ford's so good in it, and it's like, I never pictured him being in a dramedy, like a drama comedy type series.
Did anybody picture him on television at all? Right.
Exactly.
And now he's like crushing it in 1923 and crushing it in Shrinking. You're like, hey, can we have Harrison Ford on every television show, please?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like when he's on television, he's technically on talk shows. I would always love it when he was on Conan O'Brien, and the way Conan like always, joked around with him,
Well, I don't mean like just being on my personal television to view it. Right. I mean like in a show because.
Oh yeah, that too.
Like,
but
what a dream, that guy in a Starfleet uniform, right?
Oh, man.
Give me crazy Admiral Harrison Ford, please.
Oh, geez, that would be so awesome. That would be.
Well, hey, we can stay on topic with this because we'll just change this into not just heat, but really good examples of writing. Because you're absolutely right. I mean, I follow Bill Lawrence anyway because of Scrubs.
Oh,
and I watched all of Cougar Town because of Bill Lawrence. Their writing is amazing.
Yeah, I gotta watch Cougar Town.
They know what they're doing, right? So when they're like, "Oh, hey, Shrinking, a show about damaged people helping other damaged people," I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" But I was unprepared. I knew it was going to be funny, but I was unprepared for like the real fucking human emotions they get splayed up and down the street in like a half-hour show. There's
Yeah.
no wasted word in this. Every screenplay is a Swiss watch. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. No, it's very, very well crafted, very well structured, and more importantly, I mean, I'd say 25% of the cast you can recognize, like these are actors that you've seen in other stuff. The other 75%, they're new. Oh, which by the way, I have to throw in probably Ted McGinley's best role ever. I mean, that's
Do we have to have a fight?
when I get I know when I get older, right? When I get to that age, I want to be Ted McGinley on that show.
In that show, yeah. I think that's where that character came from.
Yeah.
Somebody in the writer's room went, I'm just gonna write me where everything has gone my way forever. Because and then let's hire Ted McGinley because that fucking guy shows up on like late season Love Boat and
Yep.
then takes over Hollywood.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's definitely a good role for him.
I always remembered him from two things. Obviously,
Married with Children. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. And Wayne's World 2.
Oh yeah, what's he in Wayne's World 2?
So when they go meet, I think Handsome Dan, right? And like they're at the radio to plug Wayne stock, and so they always hear Handsome Dan's voice, and they hear this laughter. They thought that the laugh came from Handsome Dan, and so when you hear the laugh, you see Ted McGinley, and he's like, ha ha, And they said, "Hey, what's up, Handsome Dan?" And he's like, "I'm not Handsome Dan," and then he smacks them, and then like moves on. It's Roy Scherer. I always mess up his name. Dan Scherer from The Simpsons. Voices Mr. Burns.
I don't know.
No?
I don't know The Simpsons, man. I could buy my own beer and I was chasing hot girls.
Yeah.
For the entire 30 seasons that Simpsons was on. Seriously.
Yeah,
I never had a Bart Simpson t-shirt that said "Don't have a cow, man." I never.
Oh yeah,
he's never made any bootleg Simpsons stuff at the comic stores I worked at. I just didn't care.
Oh sure. I mean, like as a kid,
you know why though, right? The Simpsons is amazing. I've seen
it. You don't like animation.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah,
I don't care. I watched the first 8 or so that were on the Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah,
because my mom and dad watched the Tracy Ullman show. So it went into my head that whatever The Simpsons was for old people and not actually what it was, because of a weird confluence of how cool my parents were.
My dad didn't like it. And, but he was like, my dad was really laid back. So he really didn't care too much what I watched.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, if you like it and you enjoy it, go ahead and watch it. But he's like, I don't like it. And probably the same thing. I don't think he was a big cartoon guy.
Well, he sounds smart. Look at Chris Sagasag, happy like Ted McGinley on Happy Days.
Oh, okay.
I did not know that, but that's what Chris is saying is his best role. All right, well let's get on to Heat though, because that I can't imagine me having nothing to say about The Simpsons when there's everything to say about Heat. So
good.
So tell us what you thought. Like, where were you with Heat? Did you know this movie existed? You just haven't gotten to it?
Yeah, it's how do I put it? I've always heard great things about the movie.
That's it. So I'll get Randall off because he just went, how do I put it? Like, dude, we're on the TV. Never mind.
I got it. Right? I'm going to do an Al Pacino impersonation, right?
All right, go ahead.
We got a great show. And we're going to have our heads right up it.
There you go. That's awesome.
Thank you.
If you did that on the street, I would know who you were trying to do.
Oh, thank you.
That's my highest compliment.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it.
No, Bill Hader, man, does a great. By the way, I just have to mention that he does one of my favorite Al Pacino impersonations. But yeah, anyways, the movie is just fantastic. I was seeing more and more clips on social media, and the one impression I was doing that was loosely based off of like the clip that which by the way is the only over the top scene clip of that movie in my opinion. Like it just stands out just because when you look at Pacino's face. And he's talking about a woman, and he's specific. He's like, talking about a woman's ass, like, or I'm talking about that's a great ass, a woman's ass, like he had to be specific, and it's like, yeah, we get it, like it would be weird if you were talking about a man's ass, but yeah,
All right. See, here's the first thing that you don't get about the context of this movie.
yeah,
He's talking about Ashley Judd's ass right
yeah,
there.
yeah,
So it's not just oh, here's an interesting philosophical thing.
yeah,
Every single red-blooded American man in that theater in 1999 or whenever that came out
yeah.
was absolutely in love with Ashley Judd.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So come on, man. How old were you? Like 12? Come on.
I
You're like,
was
oh
probably
yeah, of course I was in
I,
love with Ashley Judd.
I was probably Natalie Portman's age.
Yeah, you didn't know who she was then.
Ashley Judd? No, no, no. I didn't like really
See,
recognize her until I think, what was it, the Kiss the Girls movie?
that right there is why Chris is my age
Ah.
and you are not. That's because she played oh
That's why
man,
she was in Star Trek.
Robin Leffler was the name of her character. And she was in 2 episodes, the first of which was The Game, which features Will Wheaton's first on-screen kiss. And
Oh,
in some interview that doesn't get passed around a lot, he actually says it was his first kiss. So,
nice.
oh my God, I hope that kid went, hey, look, we should probably rehearse this scene. And then just made out with Ashley Judd for like an hour and a half and said, it's for my job. I think we'll get it when we do that one little kiss on. Anyway, I was, let's see, when that show was out, I was like 26 or so. So I was a little too old to be like, because she was like 20, and that was a little young for me when I was that age. But guess what? My wife is 6 years younger than me, so maybe that was it. I had
You found your Ashley Judd.
I had this early imprint of like, I need a girl who's always 6 years younger than me. Because too much more and then that's creepy. And then not enough. And then, what do you talk about?
Well, I mean, not
You were
according
there
to
for everything.
not according to Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, and not according to Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, those guys.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, So what? So do you want to go through the whole movie? Like what, or do you just want to talk about stuff you liked? Which
we'll go
I
through the whole
recommend
movie,
we
man.
talk about scenes, because if we just talk about what we liked, it's gonna be an hour of Ashley Judd's ass. Because
no, I mean, I will say this: I was
great.
expecting to see more. 2 things. I was expecting to see more Val Kilmer, and I was expecting for Val Kilmer's character to die. So I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, the dude survived. Like
He's the only one who makes it, really, right?
Yeah. He's the only one that survived. Yeah, he's the only one that made it, and he's also the main reason why, they're all dead. Because he wanted that job.
Yeah, he's not the main reason they're all dead. The main reason they're all dead is because Tom Sizemore called some guy slick. That's why they're all dead.
But De Niro knew that heat was on, and he's like, we shouldn't do this, and Val Kilmer was like, no, I think we should do it. I think it's worth the risk.
I mean, but you said he's the reason they're all dead, and they're not, because De Niro going back for the guy in the hotel is why he and his girlfriend are dead.
Oh,
the girlfriend's not dead. That's why he's dead.
Yeah, but he went after the guy because they got sold out.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
When the whole heist happened, they
get sold out by.
What's his name?
Yeah, the guy who Tom Sizemore called slick.
Yeah,
and that's how that was like in the beginning, right? So
right.
That's why it all went down, because they didn't take care of that guy.
And,
and he
but I mean, I
think, ran away at the end.
But I'm just saying, like, had they listened to Robert De Niro, he was right on the money. He's like, this isn't good. We shouldn't do this. Had they listened to him, they all would have been alive, except for Slick, because I think Robert De Niro would have eventually found him and killed him.
So wait, what are you saying they shouldn't have done? The bank job?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, man, so much stuff happened that went their way.
Yeah.
Even while the bank thing was gone.
His character's intuition, right? Like, he knew, like, deep down he knew. That's why he said we shouldn't do this job.
I guess I'm just talking about like the narrative and the screenplay and
Yeah.
you're like totally invested in the characters as if they were real.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's
I'm
the
just
same thing. I do the same thing with Inglourious Basterds. I'll rewatch the basement scene, and I'll
Mhm.
look for like a dozen different ways that they could have handled things and like possibly could have survived versus like 75% of them getting killed.
that's okay if you do that to Quentin Tarantino, but
Yeah.
why are you doing that to Michael Mann? Because Tarantino's looks at movies like you do, right?
Yeah.
That like as he's writing his screenplay, he'll with a legal pad and a pen, which I think is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he'll sit there and think about all the various things, the 20 different things that could go, and
Yeah.
then he'll write that bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think the Coen brothers are kind of like that too.
Oh yeah, I don't know anything about them, of their writing. I mean, I know their work, of course,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but not their writing. Yeah. Anyway,
But
so that's all you got to say about Heat.
no. There's. I mean, there's tons more. Reflecting on the movie, I noticed that they really focused a lot on. You look at De Niro's character, you look at Pacino's character, and they focused a lot on the personal relationships. And it's like I felt like they could have cut maybe half of that out, you know, because it's like Pacino and the wife, like we get it, like the marriage is struggling, you know.
Oh man, you are such an action boy.
I'm
Why?
like I'm one. The thing is like I get you want to do character development, but you have an ensemble cast. Like I would have rather have seen more of Val Kilmer's character than seeing Pacino going back and forth like 3-4 times with his wife. You know.
So if you take out character stuff, why do you care about what happens to those characters?
What do you mean?
In a 3-hour movie, again,
Yeah, yeah.
right? If
Well,
you
because
take out all the character stuff, all you have left is action and plot, right?
I'm not talking about all the character stuff. I'm just saying cutting down on some of it.
But why? The two main characters are Pacino and De Niro.
Right. Well, because like it's the duality, right? Like you see De Niro and what he's, the heist, the working with the guys, the jobs, right? And then you see Pacino working as a police officer, going to crime scenes. Like that's to me is the more entertaining part of the film. Again, I don't need to see like 3 scenes, 4 scenes with him and his wife. It's like I get it, you give me 2 scenes, one where they're happy, the next scene, oh, they're upset because the marriage is, oh, it's struggling because Pacino's always working, all the police scenes, which that's just easy. That's a given. Now, granted, this was the 90s, so like there weren't a lot of movies at that time.
But why would you, no matter what year it is, why would you do that? Because you're advocating for making characters seem less complex. Because you're like, oh, that's all I need is, hey, they don't get along, and then sometimes they do. All right, then what happened? Who'd they shoot? It's like, come on, well, man. You do need those other 2 things because you get. It's not a surprise when Natalie Portman, as the stepdaughter, goes to commit suicide.
Actually, I was surprised about that.
But it's not because it's not a surprise in the narrative because you had all those 4 character scenes. Like if you were probably fast forwarding that shit. You were like, no, I don't need this.
No.
But it's literally the reason why she chose his house to do it. And he even says, I'm going to the hotel, which I couldn't remember if that's a mistake or not.
Yeah.
Because he says when he leaves the police department, he goes, I'm going to the hotel. I'm going to sleep for a month.
Yeah.
And then he goes to his house to probably get some toothpaste or something and enjoy the hotel mini bar or something. I don't know.
I think it is the hotel that she knew what hotel he was staying at.
Oh, he lives in a hotel?
Well, no, because the wife and
the wife kicked him out. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. All right,
yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, see, a good character thing. But then, how did she get to the hotel? Was she staying with him? Like, I mean, get into the hotel in the bathroom. Plus, his wife said she went to your house. I know she said that because, anyway.
I don't.
Whatever. I'm just saying, please don't take out character stuff. Pay all the attention to the character stuff because it's fun when stuff goes crash and bang bang, and I get it. You
Yeah.
know, the girls in bikinis jumping off of roofs into the garbage can. That's awesome. But none of that means anything if you're not paying attention to the motivations of all the characters.
Oh, sure, sure, of course. I mean, like you've got Tom
I
Sizemore,
love you
right?
just blowing it up. Yeah, of course, of course. But seriously, I only need two characters.
I feel like that was a Quentin Tarantino move.
It was, you know what it is? It's you wanted to see something else, and that's fair,
Yeah.
right? But Val Kilmer's at least number 3 on the call sheet. So you're not going to get a lot of what's going on with him besides he's got a gambling problem. His wife
Yeah.
doesn't like that. He's got a baby. Like they took care of his character, especially for what happens with him at the end, right? Because all that stuff with his wife, and she hates him and everything, and still stands out on the balcony and gives him the little sign to, hey man,
Yeah, like get out of here.
Yeah, don't freak out, but nothing is okay. She might as well have gone like this. No, turn around, go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Val Kilmer's character's taken care of, man, in a Hollywood way too. He got shot. He's fucked up for the rest of his life. He'll never see his baby again. He paid. He just got to live. That's why everybody else dies, because they're criminals and they have to pay. I was thinking, as I was watching it again here for this, I was thinking, man, it would be so brave to have the same thing happen to De Niro's character.
Yeah.
That you don't do that big man confrontation and you don't have him get killed. He just has to give up his woman too, and gut punch her on the way out, and goes off into the wind.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how you get Heat too. And I'm pretty sure Michael Mann didn't want to do that.
No. Well, I mean, they are doing a Heat 2, but I think it's going to be a prequel.
Is it really 2 then? Are there prequels? Are there prequels that have a 2 next to it? Because I think 2s are sequels, right?
Scorpion King 2?
Well, it's a sequel to Scorpion King, not a sequel.
Right, but I think it takes place before.
So does Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. But I'm saying that, it's a second movie.
Right.
As opposed to, I was just making a joke. That's how you get Heat 2, because a couple characters are still alive.
Right.
They wanted to kill everybody to not have a sequel. And
I'm sure Michael Mann.
Prequel, like, do we really need a prequel? It's just adventures of the same characters, except the De Niro character and the Pacino character are going to be played by like fucking Chris Pratt and Glenn Powell. You know what I mean? Like, nobody needs to see that. And as evidence, I give you Butch and Sundance, the early years.
Yep.
Tom Berenger and William Catt are fucking amazing in that movie. But the entire time, everyone in the theater goes, yeah, well, it's not Robert Redford and Paul Newman.
Which, by
no
the
matter
way,
how good the movie is, no one's going to care.
Which, by the way, that's a movie I haven't seen.
Which one?
Both.
Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Are you a Western guy?
I've grown into a Western guy. When I was younger, I wasn't too crazy about Westerns, but
that explains that.
Yeah.
I can see where an older movie like that you hadn't seen. But Heat, I don't understand how you lived your whole life without seeing Heat.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, even like their substitute driver, the cook guy, is Dennis Haysbert from 24.
Yeah,
like,
Serrano from Major League.
All these throwaway characters are like famous people. Like fucking Tone Loc is in it, Funky Cold Medina.
Oh,
He's in it for like 2 seconds to give him info at the club.
Yeah, no,
I don't know. I think that's amazing.
What's funny was I had posted on Facebook that I was watching it, and literally one of my friends commented on the post right as the Tone. He mentions Tone, and like when he comments, it's literally like, I'm at that scene right now. After
that's hilarious. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I literally told him, like, dude, you're like, you nailed it.
Cool.
Like, like you just.
Did you see the picture that I put on my Facebook thing? Not the funny thumbnail that says, "Hey, I'm ready to watch Heat," like last week. So I should apologize in public. I was really busy last week, and I completely zoned that we were doing it, because on Tuesday officially at 5:30, because it's a weird time, and it's like so when I start making dinner for everybody, so I completely zoned. I'm like, hey, we're watching West Wing tonight, right? And then like we're going to bed, and I check my phone. I'm like,
Oh.
oh, sorry, Randall. Anyway, and then I did this and beamed away.
I'm just in my room holding a candle, watching the
Yeah,
candle
where's a
flicker,
little
and like,
tear coming
oh
down
wow,
here? Where's Larry? Oh,
the
wow.
day is over with. No heat, no heat talk.
Anyway, yeah, was really I love Michael Mann from back. I think I first ran into him at Miami Vice, where I was like, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah,
Because and it was really cool to like check in with Heat again because I've been kind of whenever I don't know what to do and like I'm sick of Star Trek, which is almost never. I'll like play some weird. I go to Pluto because Rick Austin turned me on to Pluto, and just watch some random thing like a Mission Impossible or whatever's
nice.
on. It's like crazy cool TV from the old days, and they
Man
have
from
a Miami Vice channel. So every once in a while, I'll be like, I'll just click in and see what Crockett and Tubbs are up to.
I love the music of Miami Vice.
Yes. Anyway,
It's-
do you know the thing about how that came to be? This is like the coolest Hollywood story ever. Brandon Tartikoff was running NBC, and he apparently had a dream that consisted of two words, and he has a meeting with Michael Mann, and he says, "Hey, I got a good idea for a show. It's just two words. I want you to just run with it." And he's like, "All right." And when you hear the story, you think, "Oh, the two words are Miami Vice." It's not. It's MTV Cops. And that's what
nice.
they came out with. And I'm like, that is just brilliant. That's like hitting the zeitgeist straight down the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And then
Because
21 Jump
in
Street
the
was the
80s,
reverse.
well, it reminded me of your music thing, right? Because in the
Yeah,
80s, it was
yeah,
all about MTV.
yeah.
And then, okay, I'm just glad you said MTV Cops and not MTV Lawyers or MTV Cops. I mean, MTV Doctors. Because that's what you have, right? Doctor, lawyer, cop shows. And you
Yeah, yeah.
can't think of anything. And then, like, what's your spin? Oh, make one of them an alien. It's Alien Nation, you know? And if you come up with a weird high concept thing like that, you can go crazy. And MTV Cops is the highest of high concepts. And it actually impacted my brain. And when I'm doing narrative, I'm like, if you can shorthand your thing as close as that, you're all right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Look at Tony's here, who's also
Nice.
I forget where he's from your way. I'm pretty sure it's Saratoga.
You know, he's
But
I think he's out in St. Pete, Clearwater area.
okay, well you would know because that's Florida, where
Yeah.
you know that's just a big old state. Like you get this all the time if you're traveling and you tell somebody you're from San Francisco, they'll be like, "Oh, my cousin's barber is in San Francisco. Do you know him?" No, man, not unless he lives on Ocean Beach and he works at the liquor store down the street from me.
Yeah.
Aha, who was right?
Sarasota.
Who was right? He's
You
my
said
friend.
Saratoga.
But well, I mess up my words all the time. I learned how to talk in Texas and then moved to Vermont. So my voice is really weird.
Okay.
So sometimes I probably did say Saratoga, but that's because that's upstate New York, where I'm from.
Yeah.
There's probably no Saratoga, Florida, is there? So that's as close as I can get in my little old man brain.
Oh, let me ask you this. I'm trying to think of other Michael Mann movies I've seen.
Miami Vice.
Actually, no, I have not seen that movie.
You know what? We should do Michael Mann back to back
Okay.
because that we'll be able to talk about he and a little more scholarly with more stuff from Michael Mann's.
Yeah. He did Collateral, right?
Yes, love that movie.
Yeah. That I remember seeing in the movie theaters. That was probably my first major that might have been my first Michael Mann film.
That's cool. That's a great one to start on. Tom
Yeah.
Cruise is excellent in that.
Oh
And
yeah.
so is Jamie Foxx, but Jamie Foxx is excellent in everything. Except the Miami Vice movie. I just said that for the joke, but that's a kind of a controversial thing about that movie.
Yeah.
Is that the show is such a iconic piece of Americana
Yeah.
that whoever you cast as Crockett and Tubbs is not. It's they could be the best actors of their generation, and they won't be of the '80s. And
Right.
Miami Vice is, if you take the '80s out of Miami Vice, which you have to unless you're doing a period piece,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just a cop show. You can call Colin Farrell Crockett, and you can call Jamie Foxx Tubbs, but in the first 20 minutes of the movie, did they talk about his crocodile on the boat that he lives on? Because there were 3 episodes about that in the early days. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they forget about it because it's dumb. And the guys from Riptide stole it. Anyway, sorry. We
No, no.
should. You wanna do the Miami Vice movie next Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm
All
down
right,
to do that.
awesome.
I gotta find what streaming service it's on.
Yeah, I keep forgetting
If
about
I'm
that.
lucky, it's on Tubi.
Okay. What'd you think of Tom Sizemore?
Oh, I mean, Tom's always been a good character actor, so like he's same old, same old. Whether it's Saving Private Ryan, whether it's Heat, whether it's the numerous films where he's just a side character. Like he always delivers. Um, that was pretty much it. Like he did his job. He's the character actor.
I never really thought about that, but you're so right. It's kind of the same character from him every time, right?
The majority of the time, yeah.
Because his character in Black Hawk Down is practically, he's a soldier in that movie, but
Yeah.
and he's a like low level criminal in this one, but he's the same guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Sizemore is good. I'm sorry he got shot in the head, but I love how they sort of weight things in the narrative. Like, he's kind of a sleazeball, but he's kind of getting out, and he doesn't need the money, but he's got a family. He just wants the rush.
Yeah.
And then right at the end, he grabs a little 6-year-old girl as a hostage.
Yeah.
You're like, no, man.
You
lost the audience right there, but they did it on purpose. Because he gets shot in the head. Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of a Sizemore way to go out too, right?
Oh, totally. Well, I mean, part of me almost thinks that maybe definitely because the person that shot him in the head was Pacino, right?
Was it? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
Yeah, and so
the big thing.
I think in a way maybe Mann was like saying like hey, he's holding this girl, so it really riles up Pacino's character because he's got a daughter, or stepdaughter.
It's not that at all. It's a thing for the audience. It's like, because he's the first guy of the crew that goes.
Yeah,
and they've set up the whole movie that everyone is rooting for the bad guys.
No, I thought Dennis Haysbert was the first to do.
Well, yeah, but he's not really in the crew, right? That's why he gets killed.
Yeah.
He's a last minute addition,
right?
And even like they had to do a shot of the lady in the bar, his wife in the bar, seeing it on the news and kind of trembling a little, just for you to remember who that was.
Yeah.
In the narrative of the story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. Oh, that's cool. He gets a little grace note that there's one person somewhere who cares what happened to him.
Yeah.
That movie's great. I like it.
Oh yeah.
When you said the two sides of the same coin thing, that scene in the diner is just amazing. Even before when he gets dropped off with a helicopter to get a car to chase him down on the highway to pull him over just to go, hey, so you gonna go talk about things?
Yeah.
What's up, Joker and Batman? Let's go talk about this. Yeah, I like that.
I wonder, like, I remember seeing in that scene where he's in the car, you see De Niro reaching for his gun, like just getting ready, right? To like, if in case he needed to like try and shoot him. And part of me was thinking like, was Pacino's character maybe doing the same thing? Were they both like holding their guns? Like, I don't think they showed Pacino like reaching for his gun, but I know you see De Niro doing it, But part of me likes to think that.
He doesn't even really reach for it. He kind of just adjusts it on the seat next to him.
Yeah.
Like in case he has to, right? But then when he comes over, he goes, hey, you got to go get some coffee? And he just thinks, and he goes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go talk this out.
Just some coffee.
So he doesn't need his gun.
No.
I don't even think, I don't know. I was going to say I'd have to go watch it again, but that's probably not going to happen. because Andor's on, and there's 3 episodes waiting for me to watch.
Nice, nice. I'll be getting to it eventually.
Have you seen the first season of Andor?
I did. I liked it.
Classic trailer. Okay, Miami Vice the movie is 2006. It's on Amazon
Oh, wow.
Prime if you have that.
Nope, no Amazon Prime.
Dude, how do you not have Amazon Prime? Don't you ship stuff all over the place?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Where to watch the movie online? Yeah, Philo Stars Roku Premium. Oh, starting in May 1st. That's a, you have. Okay, I'll just we'll find it, man.
Yeah.
Somebody has it. Yes, let's go to this. Oh shit, Andor dropped. Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a really funny story. I pick up Walker from school and he's like, "Hey, Andor's on tonight." I'm like, "Yeah, it's on the calendar, man." We have a paper calendar, so all 3 of us. Mimi lives her life digitally and Walker does mostly. But like I don't have to.
Yeah.
Because my entire life, my family has had a paper calendar to track doctor's visits and, taking the vet someplace.
You got a hard copy, man.
So there's always been a giant paper calendar in our kitchen, so the family knows what everybody's doing at all times.
That's
and
smart.
so important stuff gets placed digitally because that's just how the rest of the world works. So the paper calendar is just stuff I have to remember, and TV show drops that Walker starts putting in.
Starts filling in on the calendar.
Yeah. Every Christmas though, Mimi gets one and it's filled out before she takes the old one. And
Yeah.
so like everybody's birthdays gets transferred.
Nice.
She's been doing that for like, I don't know, 15 years, maybe 20. I don't know. So that's how I know that Andor dropped today. And when I picked him up at school today, he said one of his buddies was trying to tell him that it had dropped on Sunday. And I was like, well, I'm not saying that I get everything correct. I don't know the difference between Sarasota and Saratoga, apparently.
Yeah.
But I do know that none of my friends have been talking about it since Sunday, which is what would have happened if it came out on Sunday.
Of course.
I'm pretty sure it's starting tonight. Anyway,
I'm excited for it.
You guys
not as like excited as other people are for it, but I am excited for it.
I usually read about stuff. I love all the behind the scenes crap, but I'm not reading about this. I don't even know if Tony Gilroy is still working on it.
I think he is.
Then it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And I can't believe you're not down at the Star Wars bar telling them to turn the channel because Andor is on. Let's go.
Yeah,
they'll go, "We don't have Disney, man. Disney's for kids. You don't watch Cinemax or something? We got that."
Yeah, you know what it is? What I really want to do is I want to go see the movie Sinners.
Okay.
I haven't been to the movie theater. Last movie, what did I see last movie? Can't even remember. I think it was a comic book film, maybe. Oh, Captain America. Captain America was, I think, the last movie I saw in the movie theater.
Yeah. Walker and I went to go see Mickey 17, and that's excellent.
I really wanted to see that.
It'll be fine on TV if you miss it in the theater, but it was great, 30 feet wide. But also, there wasn't anyone else in the theater. It was just the 2 of us.
Yeah, I saw your post about that.
Yeah. So cool. That was super fun. Yeah, I want to see Novocaine too. I'll go see a movie every couple of weeks, just because I love going to the movie theater.
Yeah, I definitely got to go see Thunderbolts. I'll go see that opening weekend. There's another movie. Oh, The Accountant, too.
Yeah.
Got to go see that.
Best thing about The Accountant is Anna Kendrick.
Oh, the first one, yeah, she's great.
So she's not in the second one. So more it's a Batman Punisher movie. All right, I'll go see it. I'll love it.
Yeah,
but it's no Anna Kendrick. Throw me a bone, old people.
Yeah, I mean, gosh. I remember at one point there was rumors that she was going to be Batgirl.
What?
Long time ago, yeah. Like after The Accountant came out, and then Ben Affleck was working on making a Batman film. There was rumors that Batgirl was going to be in it. People were saying that it was probably going to be Anna Kendrick, because I think Ben worked great with her. Like he got along great with her, and he really liked her acting.
Yeah.
But of course,
Oh, what are
then
you gonna do?
good old Matt Damon talked him out of making a Batman movie.
My problem is that we never saw Carla Gugino as Catwoman. That would have been
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, so good. Should have been so good.
There was some, I don't know if it was a Photoshop or some picture from something they were in together where he's in a tux and she's in a black, silky
Yeah.
black thing. It just looks perfect.
I mean, Snyder likes to film a lot of scenes, and I wouldn't be surprised if he filmed a small scene with her in it.
Huh.
Even his like original cut for Batman v Superman, technically it was supposed to be the Riddler and Lex Luthor, and Jesse Eisenberg was supposed to be the Riddler, but when he had to like restructure
Dude, this is gonna be an in joke with us now.
from Sarasota. No, from Saratoga.
Anyway, yeah, she's from Saratoga. Is she from Sarasota? Because she was a 49ers cheerleader, man.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Or maybe
she's done a lot. I remember when she was in an episode of Saved by the Bell.
Maybe I'm thinking of Terry Hatcher. Now I have to look that up while we're talking. She was in Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Huh.
Not the Good Morning Miss Bliss series, but like the first season when it was retooled the show.
Do you have? I barely know what you're talking about, but that's cool because you're talking about like Hannah Montana stuff. I've
never seen an episode of Hannah Montana.
I'm fine with not knowing about all that. Search only for Carla Gugino cheerleader. Uh-oh. Images of, well, I don't want images of her as a cheerleader. I guess she wasn't a cheerleader. I was probably thinking of Terry Hatcher.
Probably Terry Hatcher.
If Sag was still here, he would tell me he knows stuff like that.
Which, by the way, Terry Hatcher, my favorite Lois Lane of all the Lois Lanes.
Oh, that's bold words. Your favorite Lois Lane.
Yeah. I mean, just from my memories of like watching Lois and Clark, and I compare her to all the other Lois Lanes. I'm like, she's the one that not only looks like Lois Lane, but just the way they wrote her character, the way she was very competitive with Clark. Like that was the dynamic that I really liked, that Clark and her.
Yeah, that show was excellent.
Yeah.
I had one of their promo posters in my house for like 25 years. Nice. I found it when 5 years ago we redid our kitchen and there was a lot of doing stuff, and I had it. I'd taken it down because who cares, but it was in this. It's 2 foot by 3 foot in this giant frame, and I loved it. So it's not like I wanted to get rid of it. I just didn't have. It's not a thing that somebody in their 50s or early 60s is going to have on their wall. It's it's a cool black and white thing, and they're both wearing wife beater t-shirts, and like Dean Cain's got a little Superman on his sholdder.
I remember that. Yeah.
Okay. So you know why I would keep that for so long, right?
Yeah.
It was great. And then it eventually moved into the garage, and then I was just like, just get rid of it. But so I'm not saying she wasn't great. I love that show even.
Yeah.
And I don't care that Dean Cain grows up to be an idiot. Everybody's all like, he sucks now. And I'm like, really? Because that show was great. And I didn't know him before, and I don't care after. So don't shit on the guy,
Yeah. I mean,
there's these guys these mid-level guys that nerds get all crazy about, like Kevin Sorbo. Yeah, that guy's an idiot. But man, Hercules was a great show. What's the matter with you people?
And I heard Andromeda was good.
Yeah, there was a level of syndicated shows that I was just like, But interestingly, I have a stunt rifle from Armageddon. I mean, Andromeda. That was a Gene Roddenberry show,
Yeah, I heard about that.
So I was making trades for some Star Trek stuff, and the guy was like, "You want this?" I was like, "All right." So I thought Walker would care, and he kind of doesn't. But now it's come to grow on me quite a bit.
Yeah,
stunt props are cool because it's a big rifle, right? It's about 2.5 feet long. Yeah. And the Hero thing probably weighs like 20 pounds, right? Because it's a real gun. But what they did was like just a vacuum form shell of both sides and then filled it up with foam and
Yeah.
painted it. So the stuntman gets blown up and they don't, destroy a $4,000 prop because, it lands funny on the ground.
Smart.
And so it's mine's like one they didn't use or something because it looks perfect.
Oh, nice.
But I've never seen the show. So I think it's just, oh, that's my cool gun from Andromeda that's sitting over in the corner. Anyway, that's all I know about Andromeda.
Forever, if and when I watch the show and I see that gun, I'll be like, Larry's got one of those.
It's actually around the corner. Otherwise, I can go get it.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to talk about Heat, I would go get it. But you're like, oh, let's talk about Ashley Judd's ass. I don't like character stuff. And, I guess they all died.
Oh, and I can never remember the actor's name, but he played Bubba in Forrest Gump.
Right? Who was in was he one of the detectives?
Yeah.
Okay. That wasn't Nicoletti Wilson, was it? Williamson?
No, I don't think so.
Was it Dave Sarasota? I don't know. I don't know.
That sounds like a Western name.
Her dad was a prominent dentist in Sarasota. That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Wouldn't it be funny if he had prominent teeth as a dentist? Oh, look, I got Bubba Gump right.
Oh, so that was his name.
Tony's saying yes. It was Nicoletti Williamson.
Okay.
He played a bad guy in like season 4 of Justified, season 3, season 4.
Yeah, I got to watch that show too. I'm a Timothy Oliphant fan.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I watch YouTube press at lunchtime, like just stuff like cool actors, and my YouTube algorithm is just set up to show me stuff from because I've done it so much. It's like half of the stuff it suggests for me is just like late night talk show stuff and Vanity Fair interviews and hot ones, whatever that's called. I love watching those because they tell you cool behind the scenes story that's like press while they're eating hot sauce.
So, and they're dying. Half the time they're dying.
The ones I love are the people that are such good actors it doesn't impact them whatsoever.
Oh yeah.
Like speaking of Heat and Val Kilmer, one of the things I learned after he died, everybody's telling their Val Kilmer stories. Somebody said he would never break character on set of the Top Gun because he wanted to make sure that Iceman and Tom Cruise's character Maverick were like real rivals.
Yeah.
And it was a choice he made because he felt that he was a real rival to Tom Cruise in real life.
Yeah.
And so that really worked for the movie. So when they brought him back for Top Gun Maverick, there was just so much respect between the two of those that shoot really worked. Anyway, they said that he wouldn't break character, but like in a cool way, right? Somebody would ask him like, "Oh yeah, I heard you did some, summer stock up in North Adams, Massachusetts," and he'd be like, "Yeah, I only talk about Navy stuff if you don't mind," and that's pretty cool. He's not saying, he's not saying anything that he wouldn't say in real life, but he was saying it as his character.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. Like good old Val Kilmer.
I want to watch that documentary that he did where it's like, it's just because he video records everything, like all the movies that he was in, like behind the scenes stuff, like from his point of view, like, and I'm like, man, that's so cool. That's so smart to do that. Cause like, then he can go back, he can reminisce and he can be like, oh yeah, when I worked on Willow or, when I worked on this movie, that movie, and so it's like, that's so cool. Like, I think he's got footage. Like that's another movie I need to watch is The Doors. I know like, he put a lot of work into that movie. And I heard good things. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of that movie.
You should watch this one. That's a great one. He's in Salton Sea.
Salton Sea. Is that where he's like a detective, I think, also?
I don't know. My favorite Val Kilmer thing is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah. Gay Perry.
I've seen that movie 100 times easy. 100 times. We watch it just in the family. We watch it as a Christmas movie, right?
Yeah.
And just like maybe 5 years ago, I realized his character, Gay Perry, right? It's such a unique thing in my head, that character. that I didn't realize it's a play on words for gay Paris, right?
Oh yeah.
And I felt like a moron when I felt like somebody who had never seen Heat when I figured that out. I was like, oh my God. Classic, yes. Tony's just here to validate everything I say tonight. So how about
So same old, same old.
no. Wait, one time we got into a giant fight. No, we didn't. I love Tony. You should say something about Heat so he can make fun of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I will say this too. When I was making time to watch it, part of me was like, okay, it's really late at night. I don't think I'm going to be able to watch 3 hours of this movie.
Yeah.
But I did.
Oh, late at night?
Late at night.
Oh,
I
what
was
an
just like,
interesting experience.
yeah, I told myself like, okay, I'll watch like 2 hours and I'll watch the last hour in the morning when I wake up. And I was just like, screw it. Let's just finish it out. It's so good. You know, like we're at the bank heist scene, right? And like I keep looking at how much time is left, and I'm like, I can do it. I can do it. Like I thought for sure like I'd be like sleepy and really tired, but I think I was just so invested in the film. I liked it so much that I'm just like, let's finish this. Let's finish this ride. It's awesome. I love it. I knew I was gonna like it. I knew it just because, it's Pacino and De Niro in a movie together, you know, across from each other, right? Like characters, to me is probably the equivalent of like what action fans would have wanted, right? Like you want Schwarzenegger and Stallone in their prime. I mean, technically, like actually, now that I think about it, I think Pacino was 55 when he made that movie, and I think De Niro was 52. So to see those guys in their 50s and like the way they physically the physical activity that they're doing in that film, when you're seeing Pacino like run, I'm like, holy shit, like you're almost getting like Tom Cruise vibes, when you see him like running down that street. But I it makes me wonder though, behind the scenes after he's done running, like how Pacino is probably just out of breath and be like,
the medic has to bring his oxygen over, right?
Someone get me some water.
Well, first of all, being in your early to mid 50s, it's not that big a deal to run, especially if you're a trained actor. But the thing I liked is that they them being a little long in the tooth really informs their characters, and then both the actors get to dip into their bag of acting tricks that the audience is expecting,
Yeah.
But because they're seasoned actors, they do it in a new way, which I thought was really cool. You didn't get the parodies, the self-parody that sometimes those kind of actors get into if they're not watching it. But because Pacino pulled a couple of this whole place is out of order, pulled that a couple of times. But it worked for the scene, right? So you're like, well, what are you supposed to do? That's how he does yelling. And then De Niro did a couple of those, the things that the face he makes. And I just like it because my kid does it perfectly. I should take a picture of him and put it on the hey, as I'm 61, man. So, and Tony's 57. And I don't run around on a tennis court all day, but you can that age. You're as old as you want to be. So that's true. And even if you're as young as you can be, right?
Yeah.
Because you can still, my Mimi's grandmother will live to be 100 and a bit. And man, like she was going out to getting Chinese food until she couldn't anymore. And it was right at the end, it wasn't like she was in a chair for 20 years. It's crazy. So you're as old as you want to be and as young as you can be. So that's what the old people will tell you.
Yeah.
Unless you're Val Kilmer. Then you finally succumb to throat cancer.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wants to be a little older wherever he is.
He actually said that I remember in an interview, I think, and this was before the surgery on his throat, that he said that he was going to keep acting and making movies until he was 100 years old, and actually, I think they said that it wasn't even the throat cancer that killed him. It was pneumonia.
Huh. Yeah. It should have been an irate husband. Anyway,
It should have been Johnny Ringo.
yeah, exactly. All right, well that's pretty good. We're hitting an hour, and I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm yeah, an hour exactly. And we already said we're watching Butch and Sundance, right? No, we're gonna watch.
How about this? No, remember the rule that I made, right? There should be 2 movie options in case I
Oh,
can't get
okay.
one of the
Yeah,
movies.
yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
And that's
So if I can't,
I said that without giving you the context. It's like that's what the last thing we mentioned, and maybe, that's what we'll
yeah.
do.
And I do have to mention today on sale. I shouldn't have done it, but I was like, it's a really good deal. $25 digitally. Warner Brothers has like the Warner Brothers 100 films collection.
Yeah.
And so they have it divided into 4 volumes. And so one of the volumes is on sale today. And it actually had several of Stanley Kubrick's films on there.
Oh, yeah.
Which I haven't seen. Yeah. 2001 Space Odyssey was on that list.
You haven't seen 2001?
I have not.
I can't think of a movie you will hate more.
Nothing. I kind of dig Kubrick though. I really do. Like
nothing happens in that movie.
No.
If you like how Kubrick composes shots,
yeah.
Then
his visuals are great. Yeah.
Yeah, the entire movie is visual.
Yeah.
So,
like I almost finished The Shining. I think
almost finished The Shining.
Yeah, I think I had like the last 20 or 30 minutes of The Shining I needed to watch, which everyone tells me is like the best part of the film is the last like 30
I'm
minutes.
not sure I could talk to you about 2001 because it's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
So, 2001 and Blade Runner are my 2 co-favorite movies. And I always tell people it's whether I want my view of the future to have spaceships or flying cars. Right. That's like, how do I feel? Okay. And that's how I choose which one. But
which Blade Runner was one of the films on that list of the 25.
You've seen Blade Runner though, right?
I saw it. I had to see it because I really wanted to see 2049. And I was like, I can't watch 2049 without watching the original.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What do you make of that as the whole Blade Runner universe? What do you think of that?
Oh, it's great. I loved it. Harrison Ford. It's like, would you call it a neo noir? Would you call it that, or just a noir?
I think that's what everybody else calls it, neo noir. But I definitely think it's just a noir. It's got flying cars. It hits all the tropes, right? And so that's what people mean. They don't want to say it's a noir, and you go, oh great, I can't wait to watch whatever. But all you need to know is when that movie came out, they wanted to give him a fedora because they're like, this is Humphrey Bogart in the future.
Yeah.
And Harrison Ford goes, no, I get what you mean, but you got to do something else because I just did a movie with a fedora. And they're like, okay, well, we'll think about it. And then he went home and shaved his head and said, what do you think about this? I've never done a movie bald. And they went, dear Lord, no. But then his hair grew out, and that's why it's wicked short in that movie.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, you know what? We'll just go with this military haircut that you're going to have in about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Blade Runner. I could talk forever about Blade Runner.
Not sure if it's my favorite Ridley Scott film.
Alien. Great question.
Alien probably is my favorite Ridley Scott. I mean, I have to double check. I have to look at some of the other movies he made.
I think Alien is my favorite Ridley Scott movie too.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean that it beats Blade Runner as my favorite movie.
Okay.
I will say, I have small bits of props from Blade Runner, cool stuff, and I have a replica coat, future coat,
nice
stuff like that. But what's the other one we're talking about? Oh, Alien? 2001. Oh, Alien. Yeah, I have an Alien suit, right? I have Dallas's Alien suit, which is a replica, but it lights up. So obviously, cool. If you think money talks, I've spent more money on Alien props than I have on Blade Runner props.
That's awesome.
Yeah. if he likes spacesuits. It's pretty
I so badly want.
All right, we have to do this.
Have you seen Rollerball? We've had this discussion. We know that
What did you say? Have you seen it?
No. So we know that I've seen the remake, but I haven't seen the original.
Yeah. All right. It's Tony's going. He's clamoring. You know, I think if Rick was here, he would also say, "Oh, speaking of that, Tony, can I just talk to Tony for a second?"
Yeah.
Remember last time we were talking about rollerball, and I said, "Hey, I have a couple of jerseys that when I was making my uniform that kind of didn't come out right. I actually made Jonathan E. that was for my size, but I needed it a size up because of the pads under, and I didn't put that together, so I had to make two. So the smaller size is it's wearable for a human being. So I told my buddy Rick, I made this extra one because I know he loves rollerball. He's like, oh my god, that's cool. But Tony was on too, and he's like, oh, that sounds cool. And I was like, well, I made a moon pie one for Walker just so we could take a pic. It's just the main character has a 9 and his best friend is a 6.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just the same thing, just turned upside down. It's really easy to make, and I didn't do the back. And Walker didn't care so much that he was so busy. Like he would do it if I asked him, but he's got shit going on. He's trying to get in, finish his senior year. So I'm not like, put this dopey thing on, stand next to your dopey dad, so you take this picture, which he would do if I put it that way, and it would look great. But I was like, don't worry about it. I built this thing for the mannequin. It's looking great. And so I told Tony, it's like, all right, man. I said to Rick, you get this one. Tony, you can get moon pie. I'll send it to you. And I can't find the moon pie one. And Rick goes, Walker says, every once in a while it's time to clean up our closets. And so we just donate our clothes. And he goes, I think you donated moon pie because you thought it was going to be funny that we would see some hobo in San Francisco walking around with a rollerball costume.
That's
and I'm
hilarious.
like, I think I did. So sorry. So all that means is Tony has to tell me when his birthday is, and I'll like go out of my way to make one.
Tony just has to come to San Francisco and look for that bum and take that jersey from him.
Have a rollerball fight.
Yeah.
Have a rollerball fight. Tony, seriously, tell me what size you are, and I'll make you one of those, man. I'm
nice.
really sorry about that. I'll make front and back. I know how to do it. It'll take me 2 seconds. It's just an iron-on. Oh my god, that's totally worth it. I'll do it without you having to come to San Francisco. Although I'll show you around if you do show up, which I always do. EJ Fettis was here a couple of weeks ago. I took him up to a medium. See, there's a 57-year-old who runs around teaching tennis because he's a medium and not extra fat ass like me. Yes. Yeah. So I brought EJ up to Lucasfilm because everybody gets so excited about, oh, you go to San Francisco, you got to see Alcatraz. The Golden Gate Bridge is the most photographed physical object ever on the earth, which is true, although I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like it's not Disney. It's not like the Great Wall of China. No, it's a Golden Gate Bridge.
Not even Universal Studios.
We can just drive up and I'll show it to you. But on the way to the Golden Gate Bridge from my house, you have to pass? Lucasfilm. So when EJ was over, we walked around, got his picture in front of the Yoda fountain. It's pretty fun. So that's one of the things.
Are you allowed to go in? Like, can you request a tour at the Lucasfilm and stuff like that? Or
well, it's one of those who do you know things.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people who work at Lucasfilm, but yeah. Here's an interesting thing. You used to, so they have a Yoda fountain, a bronze fountain out front.
Yeah.
In their giant lobby area. And you used to be able to go there and get your picture taken and walk into the lobby and talk to the lady behind it was always like a very nice matronly lady.
Yeah.
They're different people all the time, but everyone in my crew called it Mrs. Landingham from West Wing because she was there just to make sure you didn't bother the president, right?
Yeah.
It was really cool because they'd had a Darth Vader mannequin and a Boba Fett mannequin, and there's a really cool bronze by the same artist who does all the bronze fountains around their campus of King Kong and Willis O'Brien, the first special effects movie thing. And so it's really cool, except you can't even do that now, right? You need a door code to go in. Yeah. So But there's in San Francisco doing what we do, you know somebody who works there. And it
Yeah.
just depends on who you know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the old days, Derek Robertson was really good friends with their IT manager. Can you even imagine being the IT guy for all of Lucasfilm,
Right.
all of ILM? So yeah, we used to go and have lunch with him. His name was Wes Anderson, not the director, but that was his name.
Yeah.
Super cool guy. And yeah, so there's ways to get in. And one of the cool things about it is it has the best view in the city. Their commissary, their little cafeteria
Yeah.
where you can just go and people are sitting there working on their iPads, just chilling. But it has this massive window that looks directly out on the Crissy Field, which is an old World War II landing spot um, that looks out onto the bay and the Golden Gate Bridge. And
Nice.
I guarantee you that the new Starfleet Academy show, somebody just went up there and took a picture from the
Yeah.
commissary, and that's going to be the view from Starfleet Academy in their show because they keep bragging about it. We've built the biggest thing ever, and one whole side of our window is actually one of those volume things, so we can put whatever we want outside the window. It's like you can put whatever you want. Why don't you just go ahead and put the picture from the Lucasfilm commissary?
Yeah.
Because that's where Starfleet is. Anyway, I was trying to get off of here 11 minutes ago, Randall.
Okay. Okay.
So we won't tell the kids. We don't know what we're doing. It could be Collateral. No, you've seen Collateral.
No, no,
It
it
could
could be
be
Miami Vice or Butch Cassidy and
or Butch
something.
Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And maybe Rollerball. Who knows?
And maybe Rollerball. Yeah.
So I sent Rick his shirt, and he sent me an email. Thanks very much. Holy shit! Look what you made me do. And he sent me a pic of him holding up the 4K of Rollerball. So there's
Nice.
a really sweet version of that. If you care at all, maybe I'll send you one because I have plenty of them. Rollerball seems like should be somewhere online, easy to see.
You would think that.
I don't know. Well, we'll talk. I'll see you on the internet.
Yeah, man.
We'll chat. Man,
Appreciate
thanks so much. It's always a blast talking to you.
No, thank you. Yeah, no, same here, man. Like, I'm happy to be part of the Dork Court, the few and the proud.
You know what? I was just thinking we should get Marco on here so both of us can give you shit.
Yeah,
Or the two of you could team up against me, the old man.
No, Marco would easily join your side so fast.
Oh, yeah.
So fast, like
I know he's pretty busy with his family and stuff, but
yeah, he's the family, and he's got some work stuff, some projects that hopefully can't talk about, but
yeah.
hopefully,
that guy's he's going places.
Yeah,
so are you, and so am I. I'm going upstairs to eat dinner. Thanks so much, Randall.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll see. And yeah, 5:30 next Tuesday, right?
Next Tuesday. I'll shoot you a message just to make sure.
So Heat, like, it's time for the catchphrase.
Oh yeah. What took me so long?
Man, I love that. That's so fun.